There are multiple industries out there, and each one of them is unique, represents a unique microenvironment for the firms competing in this industry. Here we see a couple of examples. If we take the clothing industry, this industry relies heavily on imports. Most of the clothing nowadays is manufactured in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, China. What's also important for businesses in this industry is to manage seasonality of the demand for clothing. They need to receive goods on time and also sell off inventory on time before the season change. Next, if we take the grocery retail industry, it's a completely different environment from clothing. Here, the key success factor for businesses in the industry is to effectively manage perishable goods, such as vegetables, fruits, milk, eggs, goods that have a very short shelf life. What also characterizes the grocery industry is the very thin profit margins. Therefore, businesses in this industry must sell in large volumes to be successful. Next, if we take a look at the travel industry, it's a completely different world from the previous two industries. Travel industry is very seasonal and also very vulnerable to any changes in the political situation in the world, any major world events such as COVID-19 pandemic, or to the economic situation. When the economy is in recession, people tend to travel less. If we take a look at the pharmaceutical industry, this is one of the most profitable industries out there. It does take about 10 years to bring a new drug to the market because the drug first needs to be discovered and then pass through all kinds of regulatory stages to be allowed to be sold to consumers. And it takes about $1 billion to introduce a new drug to the market. However, once launched, pharmaceutical companies can benefit from the higher prices on the drug because the drug is usually patented. If the drug is popular, blockbuster drug, it will provide the return on all this investment. Next, if we take a look at the airlines industry, it's one of the least profitable industries out there. It's very tough for airlines to compete in this industry because of high costs of paying pilots and the crew, high costs of maintaining the aircraft. The airlines are also subject to fluctuating fuel prices, and this industry is also vulnerable to any political instability, any economic recession that may take place. In these cases, people tend to take flights less. If we take a look at the coffee retail industry, what's specific to this industry is that usually it's the developed countries that buy coffee beans from the developing countries. Therefore, fair trade has place in this industry. Companies like Starbucks, they pride themselves in a certain percentage of their trade being fair trade. So here with these couple of examples, we can conclude that each industry is unique, is different from other industries, but they also differ in their profitability. Like we said, the pharmaceutical industry is one of the most profitable out there, while grocery retail and the airline industries are among the least profitable out there. So the question becomes, what determines profitability of any given industry? And the answer to that was given by a Harvard University professor, Michael Porter, who came up with a theory to explain what drives profitability of any industry, the theory of 5 competitive forces. He created his famous 5 forces framework all the way in 1970s, has updated it several times since then, and till this day, business schools all over the world use Porter's framework as a basis to understanding various industries. In a nutshell, the 5 forces that may put pressure on profits of the firms in any given industry are the bargaining power of suppliers. If suppliers' input prices are high for businesses in the industry, and the businesses have little control over how much they must pay their suppliers, in other words, they accept these high prices, this reduces their profits. In such an industry, we say that the bargaining power of suppliers is high, which hurts overall profits of businesses in the industry. A good example of a supplier with high bargaining power is Microsoft as a supplier of Windows operating system to the computer manufacturing industry. Computer manufacturers heavily depend on Microsoft as a supplier and must pay high prices to have Windows installed on the computers they are selling. This is because customers expect Windows on the computers they buy. This in turn hurts the profits of computer manufacturers. The bargaining power of buyers. Depending on the industry, buyers could be consumers or other businesses, and some industries can have several groups of buyers. If buyers are price sensitive, or in other words, they give businesses a hard time if they try to increase prices, we say that buyers have high bargaining power in this industry. This bargaining power grows only stronger if buyers have lots of options who to buy from and can easily switch from one competitor to another. This puts a limit, a ceiling on prices businesses in the industry can charge, which in turn will also reduce profits. So if the buyer's bargaining power is strong, it takes away from profits of businesses in the industry. A good example of a buyer with high bargaining power is Walmart, a discount store chain. Walmart can buy from multiple industries because of the wide variety of products it sells in its stores. But let's take, for example, a toy manufacturing industry. Because of its large size, Walmart is an important distributor of toys, so many toy manufacturers dream of selling to Walmart. Because of its size, Walmart is able to buy toys in large quantities and therefore negotiate lower prices with toy manufacturers, which of course takes away from their profit margins. The threat of new entrants. If the industry is easy for new businesses to enter, then the existing businesses in the industry are always on guard, expecting new competitors pop up any moment and try to take their market share away. And these new entrants don't necessarily have to be brand new companies just starting out. They can be large, successful, already established businesses with vast financial resources, human talent, and other capabilities getting into a new industry for their own strategic reasons. For example, when Apple entered music streaming, it represented a huge threat to Spotify, and Apple wasn't a newbie. It brought along its user base who already love Apple products, its distribution channels, financial and technology capabilities. If the industry is such that it is under a constant expectation of new entrants, it forces businesses within the industry to take preemptive measures, which can be costly. For example, businesses constantly invest in innovating their products or services to stay ahead of potential entrants, or invest extra in marketing to strengthen their brand loyalty with customers, this way protecting market share and making it harder for potential new entrants to succeed. All these costly undertakings are eating up profits a business otherwise could have preserved if it didn't have to worry about the threat of new entrants. The next force is the threat of substitutes. If other products exist in another industry that can serve a similar purpose to the products we are trying to sell in our industry, it can take away from profits because we must keep our prices in check due to the existence of substitutes that can address our customers' needs. For example, a strong substitute in the airlines industry for business travelers is teleconferencing, such software as Zoom and Teams, which during tough economic times can become a preferred way to conduct business meetings. The availability of powerful substitutes keeps prices of products within the industry lower than they potentially could have been, thereby taking away from profits. Finally, what also impacts the profits we can make in the industry is the intensity of rivalry among competitors within the industry. The more intense the competition is, the more businesses tend to invest to make themselves and their products more attractive to buyers compared to competitors. We can try to outperform competition through marketing, improved products, or more convenient distribution options. All these actions drive the costs up for all players in the industry and take away from their profits. So in a nutshell, this is the five forces framework, which helps us understand what impacts profitability of any given industry.